You ready to start?
I'm ready to start.
All right. Hello, internets!
And interwebs!
I, of course, am Scott. I am not Vengeance Carr, and with me, as always, is...
I am Robert. Dear God, help me, give me a pillow and a lullaby. I'm ready for bed, James.
And we, of course, are two guys who watch movies, and today we are two guys who talk about movies.
Oh, we are.
And the movie we are talking about is The Batman.
On this edition of Unscripted and Mostly Harmless.
Mostly.
I forgot the title for a second. It's been so damn long.
I try to do that every time. One of these days I will succeed. You will completely forget the title, and you'll be editing this and be swearing up a storm.
No, I'll just
That
sit
is what I
here
try
and
for.
put you on the green screen. And we should probably roll the thing now, right? Okay, roll the thing.
So, we just finished watching The Batman. Yeah, that one. Of course, we are going to be spoiling some stuff. So, spoiler warning ahead of time. I don't think we have the energy after watching this to bother with trying to be a spoiler-free review. Plus, it's been out for a little bit. So, I think a lot of people who are already interested in seeing it have seen it. I mean, it's made a decent amount of money. But we're still going to talk about it anyway. So, do you want to give a quick synopsis, or should I?
Dude, there is no way no.
No, that just couldn't give a quick synopsis.
There was a bat and a cat, and they
Yeah.
did things, and then it ended.
Well, the synopsis is there's a bad guy called the Riddler who's giving
Oh,
riddles.
he was in that, wasn't he?
He's giving riddles to
Bad
the Batman.
guy.
Yeah, he's giving riddles to the Batman. And it turns out, hey, Gotham City, it's really corrupted. Like, really corrupted. And the Riddler is trying to reveal all this corruption. And the Batman and Commissioner Gordon, being the only good cop in the entire city, practically, is trying to help stop him. Stop the Riddler with Batman. Catwoman's here for some reason. It's barely a part of the plot. She's kind of part of the plot, but not really. And that's about it, I'd say. Wouldn't you say that's about it?
Well, there's a subplots where Catwoman's dad is revealed, and
there's
mafia, and then there's a and we'll get to the rest later.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry. There's plenty of subplots. If you're afraid you'll be bored having one simple plot, don't worry. We've got subplots. We've got lots of subplots.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so as always, we will be talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Without further ado, let's start right off the bat with the good. You got some good?
There were cats, and they were cute. And one of them rode on a motorcycle. It was adorable. There were cats, and one of them rode in a motorcycle.
I feel like you're getting kind of stuck on that. Anything beyond the cats? Anything beyond the cats? I could have sworn there was one or two times you said, "Oh, okay, I did find a good finally." And it wasn't with the cats. There was something else.
Spoiler. When the Riddler was filming his own thing, his own vignettes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was good.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Whoever directed those should have directed the rest of the film.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, they're good. And cats. Little foofy, adorable little cats.
I think you covered the cat part enough. I think you got it covered. Okay. Good for me. I personally, I don't think he's going to agree with me on this. I personally like most of the cast. Colin Farrell as the Penguin, completely unrecognizable. I couldn't even tell.
Colin Farrell's the only person I knew in the movie.
He's just the Penguin. I mean, there is no Colin Farrell in this movie. He's the Penguin. Simple as that. Absolutely phenomenal.
Carry on. I'm fine. What?
Yeah. Drop the invisible rope there. So yeah, he was very good in it. I forget his name, but the guy who played Commissioner Gordon, I've always a fan of. Always happy to see him. It's difficult to mention the other ones. Oh, Catwoman. I did like the actress who plays Catwoman. The guy who plays Batman is hit and miss, so I'm going to talk more about him later. And the Riddler, also hit and miss. I'm going to be talking about him later. Are you okay there?
The Riddler.
Are you okay?
Yes.
Are you sure? Okay. Other good things. I like the fact that Riddler actually has freaking riddles that are decent. He actually has puzzles. He actually came up with a grand scheme.
You're not boring, I swear.
I'm wondering. I'm starting
It's
to wonder.
11:30 at night, and we just sat through a 3-hour movie that should have been about 7 minutes long.
So
I apologize for yawning.
Yeah.
I will stop yawning right now. Carry on, my wayward son.
yeah. Anyway, as I was saying, so I did like the riddles in it. I thought they were very well done. They actually had a well thought out plan. It was a convoluted plan, but a well thought out plan nonetheless. Which is the Riddler. The Riddler is nothing straightforward. It's always large and convoluted and filled with puzzles, and he does give you all the clues. I mean, he was giving lots of clues the entire time. That's the whole point of him. Other than that, I'm trying to find... There was a couple shots that were really well done. Other shots I will be talking about later. Let's see here. What else? I'm trying to think of... anything I'm missing, because I know I'm going to be missing some stuff. Because there was some good stuff in here that I was happy with. I do feel that they were trying to make the Batman more of a presence. They're trying to show the reason why criminals fear him. And sometimes they succeeded. There are certain scenes where I think they did a good job with it. Other scenes I'll talk about later. Are you sensing a theme yet?
Yes.
I think there's a theme here. Other than that, I think that's going to be about it. I also like the Batsuit. I did like his Batsuit. I'm sorry. I know you're going to disagree with this. I liked his Batsuit. I believed it more than some of the other Batsuits they've had in other movies.
I will say this, the Kevlar makes sense.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, it made sense.
Yeah, and I believe he can take some of the hits that he took. Not all the hits he took. But I can believe some of the hits that he took because of it.
I have another good.
Oh my God, you found one.
Yes.
Yes.
The stunt driving.
Yes.
The stunts.
Mm-hmm. Oh, very good.
Kudos to the cast of the drivers and the crew, because the stunts, they didn't look fake. They didn't look CG.
Mm-hmm.
When there was a wreck, it looked practical. I don't know if it was or wasn't, but either way, just as simple as we were talking about this, riding a motorcycle in the rain is not something that one goes out to do intentionally.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But they had to for the movie. So
correct.
They had
and not only
good
did they
stunt
do
drivers
it, you didn't see slipping and sliding or white knuckling. The guy who just very good stunt.
And you really feel the car crashes and stuff like that. Like those impacts feel real. It did not feel like we CG'd it after the fact or nothing like that. So so
that's good.
Yeah, I definitely felt that like you said, the stunts and the driving, all that very realistic. The crashes very realistic, stuff like that. There was a couple crashes that we were like, oh, that was painful.
There was a couple hits in the movie.
Yeah, a couple of hits in the movie also that are like that too. Especially the one with the paragliding slamming into a bridge. Oh. I mean, he'd be dead, but boy, you really felt that hit too. Yeah. Like, oh man, it felt like someone actually hit that.
See,
bridge,
I'll give that a good too, but let me take it back. Batman's coming down because he has a squirrel suit. Of course he has a squirrel suit. And he's flying. He's rocking a flying squirrel down, and there's a semi, and the semi is going, or it's a bus. I'm sorry, it's a bus. And the camera shows over the Batman's shoulder and the bus, and you go, "Oh, Batman's gonna land on the bus and be fine." Well, he doesn't.
Not only that, but he released his parachute.
Yes, he was aiming for the bus.
Yep.
He missed.
He missed.
And smacked into a bridge.
And
we're rolling.
And you really felt that. You felt like he hit that bridge. Like, I don't know how they did the shot. I don't know if any of that was real, but it felt like he hit that bridge. Yeah. Like, and he hit it hard. And
it would have been a good, except for afterwards he got up and walked away. You don't get up and walk away from that. You might get up and limp away.
Well, that's the thing. They did show him limping. They showed, but it was like a slight limp, not like a heavy limp. It was like, oh, I hurt my leg a little.
I stuck my toe on it.
Honestly, I like I was saying when we watched it, I would have believed it more if he got up and like fell back down and had to like get up and steady himself over, because that happens. That's a real thing that happens. If you get in an accident or you get hit or something like that, you get up not realizing how damaged you are.
Adrenaline will pop you up.
It will pop you up, but it won't keep you up.
Right.
All of a sudden, your body's like, no, you just hit something big and heavy, and you are in pain. You are in a lot of pain. No, you're going back down.
Yeah, you lay down.
And you gotta. It will take longer for you to get back up after that. You will possibly if you're not too bad. And you might be limping real bad, but you're not getting up fast. Nope. So that would have been more realistic if they had done that. You know. So, any more good?
Nope.
I didn't think you had.
I had to pull those out from the little inside of the fringe parts of my socks.
So, that's it for the good.
Bye good.
So we're gonna have to move on to the bad.
Oh yeah. Whatever. The bad.
All right. So, did you want to start? Because I feel you got.
Lord.
I feel you got a rant coming.
Oh Lord! If you walked into Spencer's or a Hot Topic, and you said, "Zydrate comes in a little glass vial," and every person that said a little glass vial, you went, "Come, we're making a movie." You would have this cast. It is the worst bunch of actors I have ever seen gathered on one project, including Colin Farrell. Whoever the hell that is. Wasn't that the guy from MTV? No.
Look it up later.
Okay. I don't know who you are, but apparently he does and you're somebody. So I apologize. Actually, I do apologize for everything I'm about to say, because it could be the director, but this movie was horrible. It made me want to watch Twilight.
That's pretty bad.
There was more.
I can definitely say this movie did not make me want to watch Twilight.
Oh, I don't think it made
so
me. I did wait for him to sparkle.
Is that another good then?
No. The acting was just.
Did make me want to watch Twilight.
Right. The acting was just. It was painful. It was painful.
I don't agree.
Things that people should have reacted to violently, they didn't, and things that were irrelevant, they acted violently to. Batman did not know the spoiler alerts. Blonde chick that got killed. Why did he give 2 flying Fs? He didn't know Catwoman. Why does he care about her problems? He's vengeance. Remember?
Yeah. The whole point is that he's growing as a character. It's supposed to be that. For once, he's finally starting to feel something for people again. He's been so wrapped up in the vengeance of getting vengeance for his parents that he's been dead to the world. He's been dead to himself. He is suicidal. That is obvious. So the whole point is what happens in this movie, and his little connection that he has with Catwoman is making him feel something again for other people. He's actually giving a damn for the first time in years.
So anyway, the Hot Topic crew did not make me feel that was what was going on in this film.
Yeah. Obviously.
Right. Next bad. The only interesting thing about any of the plot was the gangsters, the mobsters.
Yeah.
And they were about as intimidating as, I don't know, a cat with freshly sharpened claws. The main bad guy. No, I'm saving the main bad guy. I'm foreshadowing. The music was weak. It was emo bullshit. All the slow motion scenes where, okay, Batman, you're in a hallway. The hallway's 10 feet wide. It takes you 8.5 minutes to walk down that hallway. I was waiting for him to start rubbing his bat nipples. Direction, production, sound, acting. Bleh. Next.
Can I? Are you done?
Yes, sir.
Are you sure?
I had that pent up for 3 hours.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Made me forget some of my stuff.
Sorry.
Actually, no, that's okay. It happens. Let's see. The bad. Unfortunately, bad's kind of a long list. But because, like I said, there were certain aspects that were good about the acting. But there's certain aspects I said that had to be talked about later because some of the acting is bad. The thing is that I like the Riddler to a point. Certain things about the Riddler were good. The riddles, obviously. I mentioned that already. That was good. The fact that he's kind of crazy, that was good. The fact that he has a tendency to scream random words and draw out words real long at times is more annoying than anything. I mean, I get it. He's crazy. He's nuts. But, and here's the thing. I don't have anything against the actor. I have nothing against Paul Dano. In fact, I absolutely loved him in There Will Be Blood. But I'm thinking it was the director either A, asked for this, or B, he did this and the director didn't stop him. So yeah, that's some bad there. Batman. There was parts I liked. You know the big part I didn't like? There's two halves to Batman. What's one half? One half's Batman. What's the other half?
Bruce Wayne?
Yeah, this is emo Bruce Wayne.
It's emo Batman, too. What the hell are you talking about?
But I think the point was supposed to be, because the whole point is that, and this is a lot in the comics, where Batman is the true self and Bruce Wayne is the mask. And that's a big thing. And it's supposed to be that he hasn't learned how to put his mask on, so to speak. He's the same person both ways. But, oh my God, every scene he's in, why is he even showing up as Bruce Wayne? Why does he just not have the costume on the entire time? Because he is just Batman. There is no Batman Bruce Wayne. It's just one character the whole time. And in fact, part of the plot line is Alfred flat out telling him, you've got to be Bruce Wayne. You can't just be Batman. Oh, I also liked the guy who played Alfred. Go on.
Everything I said about the acting crew except for Alfred. Mm-hmm. He could act.
Yeah.
I believed his scenes.
Mm-hmm.
I believed that he was a guy who cared about Batman.
Yep.
And had care. I believed him.
Okay.
Everybody else in the movie, emo.
I completely forgot about. I feel bad because I completely forgot about the actor played Alfred. That should have been good because I also.
Yep. We
agree on that one at least.
He was the only believable character in the movie.
Yeah. Excellent actor. Andy Serkis, I want to say his name is. I could be wrong on that. We'll put it there. Anyway, so.
Stop going!
You really got to stop that. Boy, what else is there in the bad? Trying to think now.
I've got more.
Okay. Well, you go on with your bad, and then I will continue with mine because I'm trying to remember the rest of it.
So in the beginning of the film, all right. So we're assuming this is Batman. It's year 2, I think.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because he mentions at the beginning that he's been doing this for 2 years. Even his ledger flat out has year 2 on it. So this is year 2.
So Batman has been kicking ass and taking names for going on 2 years here. Mm-hmm. And when the Riddler calls him out, like a schoolyard bully, we'll get to that later, calls him out to play, all the cops want to attack him. Mm-hmm. All the cops distrust him, dislike him, don't want nothing to do with him except for one. Mm-hmm. Now, Batman's been doing their job for 2 years.
No, maybe that's why they distrust him.
Or, no, maybe it's because they're showing him up.
Oh.
So the thing, I don't buy it. Batman would have more allies than one cop.
Well, the other possibility is that they're also trying to claim like almost every single cop in the precinct is corrupted, and it could be that's why they don't like Batman, because he obviously is changing things, and they don't want that. That's the last thing they want because they're corrupt. So that's a possibility. I did remember one of my other bats, and I'm glad you mentioned the whole year 2 thing because it reminded me of the journals, which reminded me of the narration. Because we have narration at the beginning, we have narration at the end. Which, unfortunately, for some reason, they forgot they were making the Batman and that they were making Judge Dredd. Because it's exactly what the narration sounds like.
That was your best joke of the movie, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Because honestly, I'm a big fan of Carl Urban's Judge Dredd, the last movie they made, called Dredd. But his narration is very similar to Carl Urban's narration on Dredd. So actually, it's almost a mix of Dredd and Rorschach from Watchmen. It's like a mixture of the two.
I was thinking that in L.A. Noir, like an old noir.
Yeah.
If he would have said, if he would have started out, it was a dark and stormy night.
The other thing with this movie is that this is a superhero film, but honestly, it's a drama. And because it's a drama, there is a lot of slow scenes. And the thing is that the pacing on this, I'm actually going to get even more into this later on. But the pacing on this does not help the film. Because when you do have action scenes, due to the pacing that you were doing and the fact that they're trying to keep the pacing the same.
You just reminded me of my bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, because they're trying to keep the pacing steady, which they do. They successfully keep the pacing steady. The fight scenes feel slow. Which is not a good thing.
No.
Because fight scenes should not feel slow.
No.
I should not feel like a fight scene is happening at a very slow pace. Like, I have seen stunt people going through their coordination faster than the actual fights that took place in this. I was actually surprised at how slow some. In fact, for the trailer, I think they might have sped up some of them. Not all of them, but some of them were sped up. And not only that, but then I believe in the trailer the sound effects were louder as well. Like they're softened. Now, that does make it sound more realistic by it being softer, because when a person hits someone, it doesn't sound like a drum.
You mean there's that big thing that says thwap on the screen?
Oddly enough, no, that's the other Batman.
The good one, right.
Yeah, your good one. But the thing is that in this one, they're making it more realistic. And unfortunately, it doesn't work for the fight scenes because it makes them less theatrical. It makes them too realistic, in a sense. Because now when they're realistic, they're not as fast-paced. They're not as, I hate to say it, entertaining, which is what it's supposed to be. The movie's supposed to be entertaining. So, that's another bad. What do you else got?
Okay, I'm going to say this as quick as I can. So, my issue was twofold. One, the Batman was supposed to be the vengeance. And so, all of his hits were you could tell by his body motion, he was trying to be like, I never believed he was doing anything more than this.
I believe
his hits look pussified.
I don't know. No, I believe some of the hits were really well done, but the thing is that the sound effects didn't match it. So the sound effects dull what looked like it should have been a really heavy hit. There was one time he really laid into a guy's shoulder, like it should have like dislocated something, and we hear, which is a problem. We shouldn't hear a low sound on something that looks like it should have dislocated. In fact, the guy should have screamed out in pain, which he didn't have.
Nobody screamed in pain.
If he did scream out in pain, that wasn't in the sound that we heard on the movie. You know what I'm saying? So it would have been cut out. You know?
Right.
So who knows? So I'm not impressed with the sound because I felt it lessened the fight scenes. It lessened the impact of them.
Right.
Okay?
Okay, so...
Anything else?
With that. Okay, so the movie goes on a 45-minute tangent about the Batman trying to get his bat penis into bat cat woman. Basically, they go do some stuff and they chase a bad guy or two, and then. But anyway, so there's a good 30-minute stretch where it's just a snooze fest. Then it goes into an action scene. And they turn off the lights and do the strobe light thing, and you can't see shit.
Yeah, because of the machine guns. Yeah.
This was after
all you can see is the gun, the
pew, pew,
the gun
pew,
blast. That's it.
Pew, pew. Again, horrible Foley decisions, horrible lighting, horrible. That was all.
No, please tell me what you really think. No. Okay. So anything else for the bad, or are you done?
I'm done.
Okay. So now we have to move on to the ugly.
Oh, Lord. All right.
Should I start this one?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. So I have one major ugly. I might come up with some other stuff before we're done, but there's one major ugly, and this is the biggest problem with the entire movie. You ready for this? It's 3 hours long. I'm sorry. This movie should have been a hell of a lot shorter.
Hour.
And I'm
15?
not talking about. Oh, they had more like all these scenes that were unneeded that should have been cut. Blah 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 blah. You know, no. Wait. I'm getting there. That's not what I'm talking about right now. Okay, because there is an argument that could be made that there were scenes that didn't need to be in the film and could have been cut for time. However, that's not even what I'm talking about. I am talking about how many scenes needed to be edited badly down to a much smaller degree, especially the fight scenes. Oh my God. A perfect example is something you mentioned earlier in this review. It shouldn't take you 8 minutes to walk down a hallway. Look, I get it. You're trying to build tension. You're trying to show that he's frightening to the bad guys. But we do not need 2-3 minutes of footsteps in a hallway. Reaction shot. Footsteps in a hallway. Reaction shot. Footsteps in a hallway. Reaction shot. How many times did we go back and forth on that before they finally showed him? Yeah. He finally showed up, and he still had to walk up to him
and brood at him.
Anybody do anything?
Don't forget the brooding at him.
Of course. But the thing is, these scenes were way too long. I mean, there's a scene with the Batmobile. The first time we see the Batmobile. Now this should be entertaining. This should be interesting. We're seeing the Batmobile for the first time. All right. So I remember when I watched Batman, the 1989 one with Tim Burton, Batman. Yeah. Okay. What happened when we saw the Batmobile? What was the introduction?
It came around
to
the
corner? Batmobile. No. It didn't come around the corner.
Oh.
No, it was Batman says, "Get in the car," and she goes, "Which one?" And there's the Batmobile.
Oh, that's right.
And the hood opens up. Yeah. And the hood opens up. And we're like, holy shit. Yeah. They jump in. The hood closes. She even has to duck because she wasn't expecting it. And then the turbine turns on. And we're like, are you kidding me?
Right.
And it goes and zooms away.
Off into the sunset.
Exactly. What do we have in this one?
We've got the foot.
No. We've got the engine revving up.
Yep.
We've got the turbine in the back.
Oh, yeah.
And it moves an inch to frighten the penguin.
Wait. The red LEDs underneath the hood.
Oh, I'm sorry. They also turned on red LEDs under the hood because, that's what makes it terrifying to make him just like Kit.
Yeah.
So,
can't do that, Dave.
No, I'm sorry. Kit, the lights move.
That's true.
Completely different.
Totally different.
No. It moves an inch to frighten him, like you would do, like you're trying to intimidate someone. I get it, but that's not cinematic. That's not entertaining. And not only that, he then waited for the penguin to get into his car before he chased after him. Yeah. Are you kidding me?
No.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So you get in your car beforehand, before he's in his car, to intimidate him to get into his car so you can have your car chase. That's literally what he did. He made it so that he would have a car chase. It's so we were that hard up for a car chase scene?
Yes.
That we had to create one?
Yes.
Wow.
Right.
But once again, why wasn't that scene cut? Why wasn't it shorter? You really want to intimidate him? One, you don't have to rev up the engine that long. Two, after you do the little jump, have him already in the car. Have him running for the car as soon as you saw the engine.
Yeah. And you know, take off.
It's all about editing. It's all about, just taking what you filmed and have it slightly different so that it flows better. It goes faster. My God, there's so many scenes that just dragged. I couldn't wait to get to the next one. You're talking about how slow it is, and I'm the kind of guy that's always saying, oh, well, they're building up to it and stuff like that. Well, it's for tension. And it's like, I don't know. I feel the tension is worth it. Not in this one. It wasn't. No tension. Because it was so slow. And the scenes didn't have to be. I mean, if you had simply cut a lot of these things down, even the detective scenes, which are supposed to be slower, because he's supposed to be noticing these things. I love the fact that they had Batman being a detective. Right. I forgot that was supposed to be my good. They actually had Batman being a detective. I like that. He's actually doing things in this.
It's too late. We're in the ugly now.
Yeah, but the problem is that even those scenes were too long. Even those things, there was all slow pans. Like, how long did it take for him and Gordon to get into the crime scene itself?
Oh, yeah.
They show them walking down, 3 hallways to get there?
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. We're seeing the reactions of the cops not being happy that he's there. You could do that in one hallway. Yeah. You don't need 3.
And you didn't need that at all because we already established the cops didn't like him 5 scenes ago.
Yeah, and not only that, but you still had him stopped by a cop who was trying to stop him from being in the... You don't belong here. Really, the looks all the cops were giving him wasn't enough? We had to have someone say it? And of course, the whole point was, so by the end of the film, that specific cop is now on his side. Did you notice that? That was his, because that was another one of the 100 subplots we had, where he's, that's his character growth, that he ends up trusting him later on, because he's actually one of the decent cops as well. But we didn't need this. In fact, I felt like I was watching an extended edition. I really did. Because that's what you usually watch when you get an extended edition of a DVD. There's all these extra scenes, which is fine for the person who already watched the movie, already loved the movie, and wants to see more of it. That's fine. But not as the actual film. And I don't have a problem with a film being 3 hours long if it deserves to be 3 hours long, if it has the content of 3 hours. This does not have the content of 3 hours.
No.
This is a movie that 2 hours at most. No. At most. No, I'm just saying. If you're going to drag it on, 2 hours at most. 3 hours, you got to be kidding me. This was ridiculous how long this thing was.
This would have been very enjoyable at about 1 hour 35.
I know where you're coming from because you're also talking about cutting out scenes. I'm talking about just edit the scenes you have. Don't cut out anything. Just edit them better. I bet you could easily cut that down to 2 hours. Easy.
Yeah.
And still have all the content, still have all your character development, still have all those subplots, and be still 2 hours long.
Yep.
That's my ugly. I'm sorry for my rant, but that's my ugly.
About time you rant us a little.
Well, you rant once in a while.
I need to state something for the record before I offend half of our audience. This is only 42 people, so if you offend half of them, 21 people. The guy, when I said you're going to Hot Topic and do the little glass vial thing, I would be one of the people that answer back.
Yeah.
Let me just get that out for the record. I thought I would hate that movie. He made me watch it. I love it. Now I bought the damn T-shirt. Anyway.
Yeah, I would also be the one saying
I would say little glass vial?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Most
so not to offend anybody, but think of that type of actor, and that's what I was trying to get a point. Mm-hmm. My ugly, all the 70s porn stashes on every damn comic. No, that wasn't it. But there was a lot of 70s porn stashes. I mean, my real ugly, and you're going to disagree, and that's fine.
I probably will.
Your main villain, okay? I have to believe that he could hurt me.
Well,
or hurt others. I have to believe that if I don't stop him, something very bad is going to happen to a lot of people. I have to believe that he can actually follow through on some evil diagonal. The Riddler is like an older brother giving you twisting your arm and saying, "Say uncle, say uncle, say uncle." He's irrelevant.
I disagree. I completely disagree. I mean,
he is not intimidating.
Yeah. No.
He's not scary. He's not intimidating. He's just completely irrelevant. The most intimidating character in this film was the Penguin.
Yeah.
By far.
Yeah. But once again, he should be more intimidating than the Riddler. The Riddler I never saw as an intimidating figure. He's more of a worm who is smart and always sets up things to do his dirty work for him. I mean, he doesn't usually do anything. In fact,
who's he normally teamed up with?
Riddler?
Yeah.
Does he usually?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
No.
Oh yeah.
No.
Oh yeah, we just watched the movie. He was in a team with him.
What, Joker?
Yeah, and one more.
Penguin?
Yep. So do you know why he's always teamed up with one of those two?
He doesn't always team up. What's your point?
Because he's not a good enough villain to be solo.
Oh.
And yet they force this guy. I don't want to pick on the actor. I don't. Please don't think that's what I'm saying. I'm saying this character was less than zero. And if you get that reference, I'm amazed.
No,
Tom Hanks' first movie.
Yeah. No, I like I said, I do disagree. Because I got what they were trying to do with this guy, and I believe the Riddler is pretty much that. Now, I personally was not a fan of the costume. I get what the point of the costume was. I don't agree with it.
I thought he was Scarecrow.
Yeah, that's the thing. The costume actually matches more of what you would expect from Scarecrow, almost.
I was like excited for like 10 seconds as we talked.
No, I knew. Yeah, no, I knew it wasn't. Although you did make there was one good thing you said about the Riddler. You did say one good thing about the Riddler. At least you can understand what he's saying in his mask.
That's true.
You can understand him most of the time. There's a couple times where he does the whiny thing and does the saying things real long and drawing out the syllables. And I had a hard time understanding a couple of the words. Like I got it by the time he finally finished the word. But, it took him a minute to say it.
And you people who are thinking about attacking me saying he has Tourette's or whatever that other stuff is, listen, they never stated that.
No.
They never stated he was autistic. They never stated he had Tourette's.
No.
They never stated anything like that.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's the impression I got. I got the impression he was supposed to be crazy.
Right. Now, if they would have said this is an autistic character, you take the whole character differently now.
Yeah. Exactly. No, I really would if they had mentioned it.
Right.
I mean, yeah, you could go and be like, well, they don't have to say it, and you're not entirely wrong, but I think it'd be better to say it than to simply be like, well, you need the audience to jump to that conclusion. I don't think you should jump to that conclusion.
No, and he was way too vindictive the rest of the time to be autistic.
Exactly. I don't know about that. I mean, you can be autistic and still be vindictive, but I mean, he just came more off as crazy than anything to me. Like, because terrible things happened to him when he was young. He was an orphan, and he blamed Bruce Wayne and all these other people for his misfortune.
You mean Bruce Wayne?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The fact that he had to say certain things like that, and then other things he did. It was too inconsistent for me, But regardless, that's my piece on that. I think that's about it. Any more ugly?
No. Just the fact that I'm supposed to take Riddler seriously.
Yeah.
I will say this.
We'll say it.
This is a good, and a bad, and an ugly. We did not need another reboot.
No.
I was remotely interested to see where Affleck was going to take the character.
Well, like I said, we're still getting one more time.
Well, yeah, but that's a flashpoint.
Yeah. Now, the thing is with this, I agree with that. They keep rebooting him way too many times. I I don't agree with going with such an emo Batman, such a gritty Batman, stuff like that. Although, with this way that they did this, if they had used the plot line of The Long Halloween, with it being this dark and gritty, it would have worked, I think, for a storyline like that. But that's not what this story is. That's the problem. We're not doing gangster noir like The Long Halloween. We're doing the Riddler.
Right.
Which is not noir. They're putting in some gangsters into it, yeah, because that way they can get the Penguin and stuff like that in there, and also that way they can have Catwoman in there. But this is a Riddler story. That's what it's supposed to be anyway. Yeah. And then they're trying to push in all this dark and gritty, and you can't do that with the Riddler because unfortunately the Riddler isn't that dark and gritty. I mean, even when you look at the video games with Arkham Asylum and that, the Riddler at his darkest, he was like Jigsaw, oddly enough, because you were making that.
I made the comment.
You made that comment about how he's more like Jigsaw in certain aspects. He was more like Jigsaw, but he wasn't this level of dark and gritty. Right. You know, in fact, in that one, he still had the question mark suit and everything like that. You know, this one he doesn't have any of that stuff.
For my closing ugly, I believe Jesse Eisenberg in Batman v Superman.
I don't like where this is going.
Was more intimidating than the Riddler.
Well, obviously, because he was trying to be the Joker.
True.
So, I mean, that's what he was going for. I swear. It felt like that.
Yeah, you keep saying this movie could have been saved by cuts. I don't know.
I think it could.
I think it could be saved with a different Batman.
I don't
keep the Penguin.
I don't have that. I don't have that much dislike for his Batman. I thought his Batman was fine. I just didn't care for his Bruce Wayne, which technically was part of the story.
He needs a kitten. He never smiles.
There you go.
Give that man a kitten.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. So I guess it's
or Mexico.
I think it's time to get to the coffee cups. Let's just get to the coffee cups.
All right. We're ready to go home, aren't you?
That
was a long movie.
Get the coffee cups over with.
All right.
So here's the thing. You want to start, or should I do it?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. So, one thing I got to mention, I was looking forward to this movie. I really was. Sadly, I was disappointed. So, I was looking forward to it. I really was with the trailer and everything like that. I'm kind of glad I didn't see it in theaters. Just because if I saw it in theaters, I would have been like, yeah, I feel like I paid too much money for this.
I'd be like, thank God there's lazy boys.
So unfortunately, and this is tough for me because I'm a huge Batman fan.
You also like slow
Batman.
burns.
And I do like slow burns. Although, like I said, this was the wrong kind of slow burn because it didn't feel... A slow burn picks up as it goes.
Yeah.
This didn't pick up.
No.
It stayed at the exact same pace the entire time.
Yes.
And I didn't feel like we had a good enough payoff.
No.
I mean, he gets the Riddler before we have our climax. Our climax doesn't even involve the Riddler.
No.
It's his followers. So our climax, in most movies, Batman has to fight the thugs to get to the bad guy. The climax is the bad guy. He defeats the bad guy. Movie over. In this one, he gets to the bad guy. He defeats the bad guy. The climax is fighting the thugs. Seriously?
Yeah.
That could have been another ugly, actually, right there. Anyway, so
coffee cups.
Let's get to the coffee cups. Probably the lowest rated Batman I can think of. Well, second lowest rated Batman I can think of. I would have to give this one, 1.5 coffee cups.
Whoa!
Because I was seriously disappointed by this.
And you're picking on me for making all the comments, telling me, give it a chance. You 1.5 coffee cups.
I'm sorry, man. This was tough because I was seriously disappointed with this movie. And I love Batman. I absolutely love Batman. I own pretty much all the movies.
Right.
There's very little Batman I don't own as far as movies are concerned. In fact, I own most of the animated shows too. So
right. You're a much bigger Batman.
I am a huge Batman fan, but I'm sorry.
I like Batman for the villains.
It's just I love Batman villains too, but I don't feel like this movie was what it should have been. Even I don't think it met the promise it made, and I also feel that it could have been better. That even with what was shot, even with the ideas they had, it could have been better. So I'm just really disappointed more than anything. To me, it was a disappointment.
Well, then this is really
there's no hate or nothing like that. Just disappointment.
That's worse. That's like when your dad says, "I'm not mad at you. I'm just disappointed."
Yeah.
That's even worse.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm about to shock the hair back onto your head.
Especially since I'm assuming that you're not about to give it the rating that you said for over half the movie you were going to give it.
No, I'm giving it 5 coffee cups.
How?
But I have to subtract from one for
Here we
every
go
hour it was too long. Mm-hmm. I have to subtract for the lead character.
Hadouken!
And I have to subtract for the emo Batman. 0 coffee cups.
Okay, now
none.
So I'm not surprised at all.
Now, with that said, I have to bring a half a coffee cup back, and another half because 2 things. We all know you can have great actors have bad directions.
Right.
The studio could have got involved.
Yeah.
We don't know.
That's true.
And as much as I picked on these actors, it's so not fair when a critic does that. Because there are bad actors. There are absolutely bad actors. Mm-hmm. But I don't know half of these people, so I couldn't tell you if they're good or bad.
And I've seen a lot of these people in better things. So that's why I know these are good actors.
Right.
So I honestly, I'll tell you flat out, I believe they got a great cast. Honestly. I really do. Regardless of what we got, I believe they got a great cast.
So it was director or studio, but nevertheless.
Yeah. And that's the other thing I feel bad because I also was saying the director several times, and he's right. The studio, a lot of times, will interfere instead.
Yeah,
and
look at Batman 3.
And the director has no say in that whatsoever. I mean, actually, Suicide Squad's a better example of that.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, my God. So I do apologize if the studio was the cause of this because, I was saying the director on a lot of things.
Right.
So I do apologize if that's not the case.
I want to bring half a cup back for the stunt crew and a half a cup back for the actors and actresses that showed up and stuck with it.
So if my addition is correct, which it isn't always, that's 2 coffee cups?
1. I brought in 1 half for each.
Right, but you had started off with a half and a half, and now you said a half and a half. So you're repeating yourself, or was it?
Yeah, I was repeating myself.
Okay, that's why I was confused.
Yes,
okay, so
one coffee cup.
1 coffee cup.
There. That's because
hopefully you can follow that in editing.
Right. No movie to me is 0. It had a few entertaining
Although
parts.
You did threaten that like for half the movie.
I was close, as close as I've ever been.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I honestly agree with you. I don't feel any movie should be 0.
They showed up.
There should be some redeemable factor for any. That's why we do good, bad, and ugly. Because, in fact, there's a couple times we've had no uglies. Either I've had no ugly or you've had no ugly. But I feel there's always, with every movie, there's always going to be good. And there's always going to be bad. It's just, unfortunately, a lot of movies also happen to have uglies.
Yeah.
And that's why we have good, bad, and ugly.
But by all means, watch it, make your own decision, make your own choice.
Most certainly. But if you're a Batman fan, if you like grim and gritty, you might like some of this stuff. But don't go in expecting a fast movie. It's 3 hours long. It's not a fast movie.
If you want to know how to do good drama and go ahead and stretch some scenes out and be entertaining, go watch The Joker. Because they did everything right. Mm-hmm. And I should have hated that movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, now that was a slow burn.
Yeah, I should have hated it.
Because that built up to something.
Yep.
And it was still entertaining. There are certain things that, certain things that were really hard to watch.
Yeah.
But it was entertaining.
Yep.
And that did drag on. But at the same time, you were invested.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this one, I had a very hard time keeping invested. I was invested, certain scenes. But, boy, that pacing, that slowness, it made it difficult, and it should have been. It really should have been, because I don't think they necessarily had a bad story. I don't think they necessarily had bad ideas, but lousy execution.
I think that's a good place to stop.
I think so too.
All right, we will be back. Can't tell you when.
Eventually.
Eventually.
Sadly, life has thrown us several curveballs, and we are having a hard time getting stuff filmed. But
everybody and their brother's graduating right now.
Yeah.
So, to all you graduates, congratulations.
There's other stuff going on too. But besides that, we're not done. We will be back.
Oh, no. We will return. Later.